Shalom, shalom, kol halal, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash, and double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone and well, and salutation to the brethren on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. I just wanted to, going on the topic of moral decadence, the demoralization of today's society, especially amongst the youth of society, because that seems to be who's pushing the demoralization, the social media, the how do you say, the decreased standards, in society, and the decreased standard in society and demoralization is due to the to the world becoming weak. The world is actually nearing its death. Actually, the society is nearing its end, and as for as long as history has went on, starting with Adam, there has been a decreasing standard in morals, and it does all start with Adam, and it does start with, from Adam, you got the flood, which was brought on, for the sinners of that generation, and now you have the fire, which is going to be brought on by the sinners of our generation, and from the time the Lord set down the law, statutes, and commandments, even after Adam, there's been a constant decline. Has been a constant decline in the standards and in integrity, among society. And I just wanted to play this little quick clip from Mark Dice, and I own this video in no shape or form. Just throwing out that disclaimer since he copyrighted this. And I wanted to play this video just to show you the weak-mindedness of today's generation, which has been deemed Generation Z, because this is the last generation. So without further ado.
You're a millennial?
Yes.
What the hell is wrong with your generation?
There's nothing wrong with our generation.
Nothing.
No, I don't think so.
Are you guys the greatest generation?
No, I think we have a lot to learn, but we are who we are.
Talking to millennials about what the hell is wrong with your generation.
There's nothing wrong with it. We're the best looking generation there is.
Tell us more about the millennials.
Look at all the girls walking around. You know what I mean?
What the hell is wrong with your generation?
Excuse you?
Yeah.
A way to attack someone out of nowhere on the street.
Oh, you need a safe space. Do you need a safe space?
Well, I don't need a safe space, but the correct forum to attack me when I'm ready, so I can defend our generation.
Okay, well, you can defend it. What the hell's wrong with you guys?
There's nothing wrong with us.
Are you a millennial?
Yes.
Yes. What the heck is wrong with your generation?
I don't think a whole lot. I think it's a pretty good generation.
Pretty good generation. Would you guys say you're lacking in any areas of, like, common sense or morality or...
Personally, no.
Well, personally, thankfully there's exceptions.
Yeah, sure.
As a whole, would you say that your generation is just a bunch of brain-dead zombies?
No.
Are you guys millennials?
Yeah.
Yes. We're just talking to millennials to try to figure out what the hell's wrong with you guys.
Yeah.
What isn't wrong?
What isn't wrong? That's some... Oh, no. Are you guys millennials?
So, you got the last guy there. He asked him what the hell's wrong with the generation. He said, what isn't wrong? Well, that's the correct answer, because the children, the kids, the children, the teenagers, the young adults have no moral standards. The first guy he talked to, he said there's nothing wrong with our generation. We're the best looking generation, but that's narcissistic, man. That's all that matters to people nowadays is how they look and how they're deemed by society. Then he goes on to say, just look at the women walking around. And he completely deflected the question to women, but that shows you the animalistic mind state that, that people are in, man. That all they think about is sex. He asked another guy who was super damn sensitive, and he asked him, he's like, whoa, I wasn't even ready for that. Why are you attacking us like that? But that's the way society is nowadays. You know, society is super sensitive about everything that happens. You know, everything that's said to them. You know, that's why Mark made the joke. You know, you need a safe place. You know, but it's true. You know, until finally, and then you got that other guy, the guy with the black shirt on, and Mark asked him, what's going on? Like, y'all, don't you think that you guys have like a lack of morality and standards? Which the answer is yes. But he said personally he doesn't think so. But he doesn't, these kids don't know what the hell is going on, man. You know, it's called moral decadence, man. And the word decadence, and I'm just going to use dictionary.com. But even when you go into the etymology, the etymon, the word decadence comes from Latin uh, decadentia, which means decline. You know, this is from the dictionary.com. It says the act or process of falling into an inferior condition or state, deterioration, decay. You know, moral degeneration or decay, turpitude. You know, unrestrained or excessive self-indulgence. You know, so does that not sound like the world today, man? You know, unrestrained and excessive self-indulgence. You got all the social media, man. You got Facebook, you got Twitter, you got Snapchat, you got Instagram. You know, you got all these other third-party apps that you put on your cell phone for social media. You know, they turned LinkedIn, which is supposed to be social media about business and about connecting, networking and getting jobs and things like that. They turned that into its own social media platform, and it's all about me, not fearing or reaping the repercussions or the consequences behind your actions, man. Which is making people in a less mind state, man. In an inferior mind state, like the definition said, because they can think any type of way, they can do whatever they want to do and not feel any consequences for it, which is totally uncalled for and totally what do you say? It's a total abomination, to the Lord Himself, man. And starting with Adam, that's where the decline began. When he transgressed the law by eating of the tree of good and evil, man. Which was learning from the other nations. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 3, verse 4. It says, O Lord, who bearest rule, thou spakest at the beginning, when thou didst plant the earth, and that thyself alone, and commandest of the people, and gavest a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee. And thou leadest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted, before ever the earth had came forward. So when Adam was created, he didn't have a soul. He didn't have a personality. He didn't have morals or standards. But the Lord breathed the breath of life into him, man, which is his name, Yahweh. In the law, statutes, and commandments, and gave him order. And gave him moral standards and morality. And thou leadest him into paradise, which we know is the Fertile Crescent, which thy right hand had planted before ever the earth came forward. And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way, which he transgressed. Which he transgressed by doing something the Lord told him not to do, was eating of the fruit of the tree of good and evil. Of whom came nations, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number. Because we all come out of Adam, man. The Edomites, the Israelites, the Elamites, the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Canaanites, the Japhites. We all come out of Adam, and every people walked after their own will. And this is what happened after Adam came and he left. Every people walked after their own will and did wonderful things before thee and despised thy commandments. Now what it meant by wonderful things is things that were never before seen or perceived before, man. They were coming up with new wickedness every day. Just like now, they're coming up with new wickedness every day, man. And they despise the Lord's commandment. Nobody can tell them what to do. Nobody can tell them if that it's wrong or not. They're just gonna do whatever they find in their power to do, man. And it's wicked. Verse 9, it says, And again, in process of time, Thou broughtest the flood upon those that dwelt in the world and destroyest them. You know, because they were exceedingly wicked, man. So the Lord said, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of the whole world. I'm just gonna start off from scratch. You know, because like the scriptures say, man, it wasn't the Lord's will that man came to naught, but that's what happened. So the Lord sent that flood through and destroyed everyone, man. You know, except for 8 people, which were Noah, his sons, you know, and his wife and their wives, man. It says, and it came to pass in every of them that as death was to Adam, so was the flood to these, you know, and that was the end of that generation, man. That was the end of that generation, you know, and that was the end, so seemingly the end of wickedness, man. But the scriptures say that the creature was subject to vanity, so there was always going to be wickedness, man, in our hearts. And from, like the scripture said, the process of time, from Adam, you know, him being simple and listening to the woman and eating of the tree and taking out the other nations, man. From there, that's where man fell. And from there, man has been getting worse and worse and worse, man, until our transgressions have reached up to heaven, man. You know, and man has to be destroyed. You know, this is Genesis chapter 6. Verse 5 says, and the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. You know? So that's all what was in man's heart before the flood, man, was evil. And they repented the Lord that he made man on the earth, and they grieved him at his heart. You know? So he said, man, you know what? I shouldn't even have created these people. You know what? I'm going to start over. Verse 7, and the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air. Now, the only reason why the Lord had to destroy every beast and creeping thing on the earth too is because men were having sex with the animals, man. You know, men were doing unseemly things with the horses and the dogs and the cats and the birds, you know, and then treating them horribly. You know, fighting the animals, not feeding them, you know, treating them like utter trash, man. So that's why the Lord just thought it better to get rid of the animals too. That was more like a mercy killing, you know. And it really was a whole mercy. The whole flood ordeal was a mercy killing, man, because it gave man a chance to start over, you know. But guess what? It says, for it repented me that I have made them. And it repents the Lord again that he made man, man. Because now man is more wicked than back then, you know. Especially now because the whole world is joining together, man. Just like back in Genesis 11 chapter, you have the Tower of Babel once again, you know, in the form of the American Empire, man. You know, for instance, all over the world, the standard language is English, you know, and everyone can speak the same language, man. Everyone's coming together, claiming they're citizens of the world, you know, claiming that they're proclaiming their sexualities and proclaiming, you know, their method of thinking, man. And everybody has a way in their heart that they're correct, but that's only because nobody's correcting these people, man, on how they should think, how they should live, how they should eat. You know, there's no morality in the world because nobody believes in the Most High anymore. You know, they took the Most High completely out of the equation. Yeah, sure, you got churches. But look what Esau did with the churches, with Lyndon B. Johnson, man. You know, he created that 501c3 charter, so now they can't teach certain things. Now Israel doesn't know who they are. You know, now their morals are declining, man. You know, and now not only do we have the curses on us, but we had Esau aid and abet the curses by kicking the man out of the house. You know, now our children are growing up without morals and standards. Because a woman has no morals and standards, man. You know? She had no morals and standards from the beginning when she was Eve. You know? And not only that, you have the other nations. You have the other nations creating all types of wicked devices, man. You know, you got the transsexuals, you got the pansexuals, you know, I'm for all sexes. Now I'm transgender. Now you got people having sex with animals, man, bestiality, you know? You got pedophilia wanting to have rights, man. You know? You got men trying to figure out ways to cheat death. You got men creating technology to grow back limbs, you know, to to um to basically, cheat everything that the Lord does to you, man. To proclaim themselves as God. Now you got people trying to time travel. Got people trying to travel to just different planets to spread wickedness all over the universe, man. You know, and that's only because all the people came together, man. Just like back in Genesis the 11th chapter. Like the scriptures say. Scriptures say, there is nothing hid under the. I mean, it's like there is nothing new under the sun, man. You know, this Genesis 11:6, and the Lord said, "Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language." And isn't that now? You could say this for America because America's Babylon, but when you look at the whole world speaks English, man. You know, and they have all one language, and they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have what they have imagined to do. So you have the whole known world, right? And now since they're working together and they all speak the same language, now they can communicate. There's nothing restrained from them. They can do whatever they want. They can create and they can destroy whatever, man. Now they have means to work together to forward an agenda, man, and that's to demoralize society. That's to destroy, the family structure, which they've done a great job of doing. And that's why there's no morality in society. To be honest with you, the family structure is totally gone. You kick the man out the house, give the woman welfare, and all she can do for herself when she's used to depending on the man. Now there's no father figure in the house. Now the children grow up without any type of discipline, any type of morals. Now they raise their children the same way because they were because they do things how they were raised, man. And it's a continual cycle. Now you can throw the social media in there, you throw the television and the internet and all the advertisements and the crudeness in the movies, the crudeness in the television shows, the adult sexual innuendos in children's cartoons, the books, the video games, you throw all that in there, you got a pot that's brewing for disaster, man. That's brewing for moral decadence, man. And especially when it comes to, when it comes to treating people how you want to be treated, man. When it comes to forming relationships with people, as far as your neighbors that you live next door to, as far as your neighbor, as far as your own next of kin, your own people, but just helping people in general and being genuine, man. And having integrity. There's no integrity in the world anymore, man, because nobody genuinely has any love or any kindness towards one another. It's like I said, it's a narcissistic society. When you go to the back to the definition of decadence, you see moral degeneration or decay, turpitude, unrestrained or excessive self-indulgence. And everybody's caught up in themselves and what they're doing to actually care about the next man or care about the next person. And that's rampant all over the world. But if everybody paid attention and took heed to the law, statutes, and commandments, man, this would be a perfect society. There would be no selfishness or covetousness, man. Or evil. This is Matthew 22:36. It says, "Master, which is the great commandment in the law?" Yahushua said unto him, "Thou shalt love the Lord thy power with all thy heart," which is missing in society heavily because there's over 3,000 different gods out there, and everyone was told you can worship whatever you want, pick a god, and those gods are steering people the wrong way, because they're just dumb idols. So you got the people that are advocating or advertising these gods, steering people the wrong way for their own personal gain, man. Everybody's mind is screwed up. And with all thy soul and with all thy mind, which that's missing, that's lacking in today. That's called integrity, which there is no integrity in the world today. Because as soon as somebody comes to you with $5 million, you're throwing God out the window, man. You're throwing the Most High out the window, As soon as you get something you want, these people throw the Most High out the window. So they're not doing that. Verse 38, this is the first and great commandment. 39, and the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. You know? Now, what that means is not going next door to your neighbor and kissing on your neighbor and nothing like that, man. That doesn't even necessarily mean you have to, necessarily be all buddy buddy with your neighbor, man. But this, when it says neighbor here, it's talking about brethren, next to kin, your own people, That's what Yahushua was talking about, man. When he said this, he was meaning his own, love thy neighbor as thyself, meaning your own people, man. And there is no love for thy neighbor, man. Adultery is rampant again, amongst the world, man, especially in Israel. Sleeping with each other's men, sleeping with each other's wives. You even got men and women out here having sex with their best friends' children, man. Which is disgusting. So you have adultery going on. You got people stealing. You got people coveting. You got people lying to each other. You got murderers. And those are all commandments of the Lord, man. And those are all things that we wouldn't. I'm not gonna say we, because I'm not included, but these are all things that our people wouldn't do if they knew the commandments, man. Because when you look at the commandments, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, and countless others, man. You look at those commandments, and you start to see, like, man, I would never do nothing, like this to somebody, because I wouldn't want that done to me. And that's why the scripture says, love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets, because just following that commandment alone, love thy neighbor as thyself, you're fulfilling do not kill, do not kill, do not steal, do not commit adultery, things like that. You're fulfilling things like that because you don't want that done to you, You don't want those things done to you, so you're going to treat everybody accordingly, on how you want to be treated. That saying, treat others the way you want to be treated, is just another way of saying, love thy neighbor as thyself, man. And you don't see that in society. You see nothing but straight evil, man. You got Jake. They're the main ones making songs about committing adultery and popping each other's women, man. And stealing each other's women. And you got the women talking about taking each other's men and stealing each other's man. And all these shenanigans, man. That's all they're talking about. You got. It's mainly Jake making songs about killing each other, gang banging. I got this gat. I got this gun. I'm gonna shoot this. I'm gonna shoot that. I'm gonna steal this. I'm gonna sell you this. I'll sell these drugs. I sell those drugs, man. Now you mixing witchcraft into the mix, and that's all through the witchcraft media outlet, That's all through the radio, through the television, through the internet, through social media, through the advertisements and billboards, So all of this is disaster for wickedness, man. But that's only because, they found a way to be wicked, This is Ecclesiastes 7:29. And lo, this only have I found, that the Most High hath made man upright, right? Originally, we were created in the Lord's image, man, with order and morals, man, and standards, But they have sought out many inventions. And as the world continued to trickle down from the starting point all the way down to 2018, you have nothing but a world full of darkness, man. Matter of fact, slacking. Psalm 49, slacking. Oh, sorry. Psalms 82. But the whole world is in darkness, man. This is Psalms 82 and 5. It says, they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course, because they sought out many inventions, And the invention that they sought out was nothing righteous. They found all types of ways to increase wickedness, man. Starting with Alexander the Great. There was wickedness on the earth before Alexander the Great, but when he came on the scene, that's when wickedness increased, man. You know, I'm sure he spread homosexuality wherever he went because he was a homosexual, proven. You know, and you know, Edomites are known for being sexual deviants, man. You know, and that spread it all over the world. You know, you got now it's so bad. You got people they're flip flopping with their genders, man. You got men turning into women, women turning into men. Now you got little boys and little girls wanting to be little girls and little boys, man. Wanting to go into the opposite gender's bathrooms, you know, wanting to cross dress. Now that's okay. When that used to be frowned upon. But now it's okay to cross dress. However you feel. But that's wrong, man. You know? I read this article the other day about a university in Britain, and the psychoanalyst, he's doing a study on transgenders, and a lot of transgenders are coming out and saying that they regret their decision that they made, but it's too late, you know, because in their spirit they know that it's wrong, but their emotions push them to make that decision, man. You know, like Elder Yashawamba says in Dallas all the time, and you make you make permanent decisions off of temporary emotions, you know, which those emotions are nothing but the devil and Satan anyway. But you know, well, not for Edomites. I mean, they are the devil and Satan. But for Jake, that's what that is, man. The devil and Satan, you know. And now they're regretting them, you know, switching back and forth, man. And the psychoanalyst or the psychologist that's doing the study, he said straight up, man. He said that the whole transgender movement is is all based on emotion and feelings, man. It has no real concept to it, no real backing, man. There's no proof that these people are that this man is a woman in a man's body or this woman is a man in a woman's body, man. It's all based off of emotions. And he said, sadly, this society has become a caterer to emotions, man, and not actual true facts and true data, which that's completely correct, man, because all the foundations of the earth are out of course. You know, everything is upside down. You know, when the earth used to be about logic and academics and morality, now it's about emotions. It's about emotions. Um, uh, Believing in things that you can't prove, and what do you call not morality, but immorality. You know, doing what thou wilt. You know, do what feels good. Do it how you feel you should live. You know, which is totally wrong. That's backwards, man. That's ass backwards. That's why the Lord, when He gets here, He's going to destroy the earth again, man. Not the whole earth, because most of the world is going into slavery. But the Lord is coming back to put in that work, man. He's coming back to put in that work. You know. It says Ecclesiastes 8:11. It says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. And that's another reason why you have the world in a state of darkness the way it is, because they have now, there is no consequence for them doing immoral things. You know, now it's widely accepted. It's okay to be a homosexual. It's okay to be a pedophile. You know, it's okay to not be a man in society. It's okay to be a wimp, to be weak, or to be weak-minded. You know, where not being, well, when I was growing up, I mean, not being simple or stupid was an achievement, man. It was an achievement to be smart, you know, to know things, to be resourceful. Now, it's what do you call it? It's a now they're bullying kids for being smart. They're bullying kids for not being simple, man, for not making horrible decisions, not doing drugs that alter their minds, man. You know, now the world is all for dropping out of school and being stupid. You know, sexuality used to be frowned upon, man. You know, we used to say, you know, oh, in the closet, that man's in the closet. But there used to be a reason why homosexuals were in the closet, because it was frowned upon by society. Those homosexuals get beat up, even murdered, man. Now it's okay. You know, it's okay to just walk around and say, I feel like a woman. I'm a homosexual. They put it all on TV and the social media and the internet and on all these forums where it can be seen all over the world. And now it's widely accepted, you know, because there's no consequences behind being homosexual anymore, man, you know. But one thing that they've forgotten about is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, you know. They forgot about the Most High. But that's because the Most High is in none of their thoughts, man. Because they think just because they can do whatever they want, there are no consequences, that there will never will be any consequences, man. And that's the wrong way to think. Because the Lord is going to show you different. Like scriptures say, man, I come quickly, you know. I come like a thief in the night, man. When you least expect it, your ass is going to be grass, man. You know, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 4, verse 30. It says, for the grain of evil seed hath been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. And how much more ungodliness hath it brought up until this time? And that question it's innumerable, man. You know, all I can say is that the sins of the people reach up to heaven. You know, and how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come? Right. So now we're in 2018 and we're seeing the height of wickedness, but wickedness is going to increase until the Lord comes back, man. You know, wickedness is going to increase. Wickedness is going to increase until the Lord finally decides to crack those clouds, man, and start destroying. You know? Ponder now by thyself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed hath brought forth. You know? So when you read this, you start thinking about, like, damn, what did the world come to? And literally the only answer is an end. You know? This world has come to an end. You know? Because wickedness has reached a point at an all-time high to where there's nothing left but for this world to be destroyed, man. That's it. Finito. The world had his chance, man. You know? The Lord gave mercy, man. You know? And now that mercy is about to run out. You know? So I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, double honors the apostles and the elders, great millstone who rule well, and salutations to the brethren on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word, truth, and sincerity. So long.